to some other projects, we see fewer global members of the Hedera community. And I know we have it, I know you'll talk about it, but this person believes there's no active marketing from Hedera Council members to support the project. Will we see more announcements on new implementation successes?
Yeah, so there are a couple aspects to this question that are worth sort of pointing out. When we think back to the beginning of the council, February of 19 is when we added the first 5 members of the council. Even in that initial group, there was a mix. There were those that already had projects in mind for what they wanted to do. And they had, at that point, they were still envisioning them. They hadn't yet even begun building them, but they knew pretty much what they wanted to do. And they started building. But a lot of those council members, and even through the additional batch that we added through 2019, I think we got to 10 council members by the end of 2019, if I recall correctly. A lot of them were joining because they wanted to see what was going to happen with the space, the whole DLT category. And by joining us, they got a front row seat into that. And they got the added bonus of helping to shape our product roadmap, et cetera, all the value points for being a council member. But they didn't know how they wanted to go to market. They were still figuring it out. That's changed, or is in the process of changing. A lot of the council members that were observing now understand they have to move, and they're moving. And they have been for some time. It really accelerated starting January this year. There was a lot of it that was starting, say, Q1 and Q2 of last year. COVID hit, people slowed down. Innovation departments around the world just kind of came to a stop while the world focused on their core businesses just to survive the crash that happened. But in January of this year, things changed. And these organizations decided to become very active and start building their products and services that they had put on hold. So that's part of the answer. The other part of the answer is that when it comes to marketing specifically, small and medium businesses and startups for sure, they will always, almost always say, they'll go out with press as soon as they can, because they're trying to bootstrap interest in the company in the first place. All right, they got to bootstrap awareness that they exist, and there are a lot of reasons why it's important to get that awareness just to be able to get the next round of funding, so that you can have a product that you go to market with. When it comes to big enterprise or mature organizations, generally, it's exactly the opposite. They don't go to market with press until they have everything that's fully baked. And if it's an ecosystem play, the ecosystem has been created, and that business network has proven out the product or service, and they're collectively ready to go to market. So to have that caliber of organization make forward-looking statements to the market just doesn't happen generally. And what's interesting is that even in the face of what's normal, we have had that happen with some of our council members. Standard Bank is a great example, right? Standard Bank has not yet gone to market with the tokenization of bond issuances that they intend to do, right? Those are kind of forward-looking statements. They've already announced to the market what their intentions are, not having yet gone to market with the product. So that's unusual, and they did it. FPOS, same thing. FPOS, the debit card infrastructure organization for Australia, they've talked a lot about what their intentions are. DLA Piper is an example of one that has gone to market, and now that they've gone to market, there's quite a substantial amount of marketing that they're doing, and it's on an ongoing basis. So ServiceNow is not a council member, but an enterprise that has done a POC with Hedera that connects service agreements, SLAs, service level agreements, the triggers within those SLAs to HCS, they talked about that in a blog post. So the fact that organizations are willing to do that even prior of that caliber, even prior to having the products ready to go, is a statement in itself. But that's kind of the dynamic. You wouldn't expect the more mature organizations to do this until they're ready to go to market.
All right, thanks, Mance.